When someone shows up in your league offering the crown, what do? We need to talk about the fans. Caitlin Clark isn't just popular. She's a movement. She's the reason little girls are picking up basketballs again, and why college and professional women's hoops are finally getting attention. She has fans who've never watched the WNBA tuning in weekly. People are flying across states just to see her play in person. That's power. But the WNBA keeps fumbling that momentum. Instead of promoting her, they treat her like a problem, like someone who has to earn her place. Meanwhile, Europe is watching, and they see a global star ready to explode. If Caitlin goes overseas, her fans will follow. She doesn't just bring ticket sales. She brings eyeballs, energy, and culture, and that's priceless. Ask yourself, how many leagues would kill for that kind of following, and how many would let it walk away? What would you do if Caitlin leaves? It's not just her the WNBA loses. It's the momentum, the hype, the ratings, the casual fans who finally tuned in, the new sponsors, the media buzz. It all goes with her. You can already see it every time she doesn't play. The numbers drop. She's the league's anchor, and yet they're not protecting her like one. This isn't just about a player. It's about the brand. Caitlin Clark brought relevance, and the WNBA treated her like just another rookie. Now Europe is ready to give her the throne, and if she takes it, the WNBA will have nobody to blame but itself. Some people say if Caitlin leaves, she's quitting, that she's running from a grind. But here's the truth. This wouldn't be quitting. It would be trailblazing. Players have left before. Diana Taurasi once skipped the WNBA season to play overseas. Breanna Stewart made millions in Russia. Let's take a second to really think about what Caitlin Clark has gone through and what she's getting in return. This woman came into the WNBA as the most hyped rookie in league history. She's selling out arenas, breaking viewership records, getting people to care about the league like never before. You'd think the WNBA would be bending over backward to support her, to protect her, to pay her. Nope. Instead, she's getting poked in the eye, slammed to the floor, laughed at by teammates, undermined in the media. And how much does she make? Around $76,000. For all that, for carrying the league. That's pitiful. And it's not just about the money. It's about how little they value her presence. They treat her like a burden when she's a reason there's even a spotlight in the first place. Meanwhile, overseas teams are lining up with seven-figure offers and real protection. Private security, endorsements, facilities tailored to her. The WNBA had a generational star and gave her chaos, bruises, and cold shoulders. So really, can you blame her for thinking about leaving? What would you do if your league let you get bullied and underpaid? Caitlin Clark is at a crossroads. One path stays in the WNBA. The other leads overseas. One path means staying loyal to a league that hasn't protected her. The other means going where her talent, value, and presence will be fully appreciated. It's not an easy decision, but here's what we know. She deserves better. And maybe, just maybe, Europe is the place that gives her the peace, protection, and power she's earned. So here's my final question to you. If you were Caitlin Clark, what would you do? Would you stay in a league that treats you like a burden, or take your talents where you're treated like a blessing? Let me know in the comments. And if you ride with Caitlin no matter where she plays, hit that like button and subscribe. JC Sheldon and Mabrey just got hit with lifetime bans, and now they're out here exposing the league, claiming they were paid by Cathy Engelbert to take out Caitlin Clark. You can't make this up. But wait, it gets even crazier. It turns out the referees were in on it too. These weren't just bad calls anymore. They were allegedly getting paid off straight from the top, from Cathy freaking Engelbert herself, the same woman who goes on TV talking about protecting players and growing the game. She was out here cutting checks like a mob boss. And Sheldon and Mabrey, two glorified role players who couldn't hit a shot to save their careers, decided the best way to stay relevant was to play dirty and get a payday. They weren't hooping. They were doing hit jobs in a jersey. Meanwhile, the refs were calling technicals on Caitlin for breathing too loud while letting elbows fly, like it was a UFC. Come on now. That's not bad officiating. That's a setup. This isn't basketball anymore. This is corruption in sneakers. Let's break down how deep this goes, because the WNBA just got exposed in the worst possible way. This wasn't just about playing physical. It was paid, directly instructed targeting of the league's biggest star. And here's the wildest part. They're saying the money didn't come from some shady outside influence. It came from Cathy Engelbert, the commissioner herself. This isn't just drama anymore. This is sabotage from the top. It gets even dirtier because they didn't stop with the players. According to these claims, the referees were in on it too. The blown calls, the technicals against Clark, the ignored cheap shots. Suddenly it all makes sense. Have you ever seen a league turn on its own superstar like this? Seriously, what's the end game here? Why would Cathy want Caitlin Clark, the literal face of the league, to be the target? Something smells rotten. June 18th was supposed to be just another game, Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sunday, but it turned into a disaster class in how not to run a professional league. You've probably seen the clip by now. JC Sheldon jabs Caitlin Clark right in the eye. Not once, but twice. And this wasn't some casual bump. It was targeted, dirty, flat-out malicious, just when it looked like things couldn't get worse. Mabrey decided to put Clark on the floor like it was WrestleMania, and during a dead ball no less. Who even does that? Let me ask you this. If LeBron James got tackled during a timeout, what do you think would happen? The league would be in DEFCON 1. Press conferences, suspensions, investigations. But here, the WNBA acted like it was just another day at the office. Does that sound right to you? This wasn't a rivalry. It wasn't intensity. It was a hit job, and it looked like everyone on that court knew it. Here's where things take a dark turn. The referees that night, the ones who watched Clark get mauled and then gave her the technical, apparently weren't clueless. They were paid off, according to leaked texts and insider chatter. Cathy Engelbert didn't just greenlight the physical play. She allegedly told the refs to let it slide. She actually instructed them to keep the game rough and contain Clark. Contain her? That's your job when a player is dominating the league? If this is true, and all signs are pointing that way, we're not talking about bad officiating anymore. We're talking about corruption. This was a coordinated takedown from the inside. Remember when Caitlin Clark got called for excessive celebration after a game-winning three, but JC Sheldon got to poke someone in the eyeball and just walk away? Have you ever felt like a game was rigged while you were watching it? Because this felt rigged. So how did Mabrey and JC Sheldon respond? You're going to love this. Mabrey was caught on camera laughing at the entire situation like it was some kind of joke, mocking fans, calling people delusional, and acting like the whole thing was just another Tuesday. She wasn't remorseful. She wasn't even defensive. She was straight up bold about it. And when people asked for accountability, she said they couldn't handle the truth. Meanwhile, JC Sheldon went radio silent. Not a single word, not even a repost. She just disappeared into the shadows. Why the silence, JC? Are you hiding, or did someone tell you to keep your mouth shut? Then the bomb dropped. Lifetime bans. Not just for the violence, but because they talked. Because they admitted it was all part of a larger plan. The message from the league was clear. Don't snitch. But guess what? The truth is already out, and fans are listening. You know who we haven't talked about enough? Cathy freaking Engelbert, the WNBA commissioner, the woman who's supposed to be protecting the league and its players, the one who goes on TV talking about empowerment and growth. But behind the scenes, she's allegedly cutting checks like a mob boss. She's the reason Clark got targeted. She's the reason the refs looked the other way. She's the reason Sheldon and Mabrey thought they'd never get caught. Why would she do this? Simple power. Clark's popularity is rising so fast the league can't keep up. Cathy wanted to slow her down, to prove the WNBA doesn't revolve around just one player. But guess what? It kind of does right now. And instead of embracing it, she tried to break it. Let's stop pretending. Caitlin Clark is the WNBA right now. The numbers don't lie. She's selling out arenas, breaking viewership records, and moving merch like it's the playoffs every single week. When she got injured, the ratings dipped. When she came back, boom! 2.2 million viewers, one of the highest in league history. And yet she's the one being punished, mocked, and targeted. Is that how you treat your superstar? Clark isn't just a good player. She's the reason millions are finally watching the WNBA. So why is she being treated like a villain in her own league? And here's the scary part. If the scandal gets swept under the rug, if Cathy Engelbert stays in charge, what message does that send? It tells players that they're disposable. It tells fans that truth doesn't matter. It tells Caitlin Clark that even after everything she's brought to the league, she's on her own. And honestly, she might leave. You think Europe wouldn't roll out the red carpet for her, with more pay, more respect, and way less drama? So here's the question. If Clark walks, how many fans walk with her? Look, this isn't just about basketball anymore. This is about integrity, about protecting players, about calling out a system that's broken at the highest level. If Cathy Engelbert really paid off refs and players to target Caitlin Clark, she needs to go, not tomorrow, not next season, but now. Because if the WNBA doesn't act fast, it's going to lose more than just Clark. It'll lose the trust of every fan who believed in this league. So now I ask you, do you believe this was just a coincidence or was Caitlin Clark set up? Hit that like button if you stand with Clark, and drop a comment if you think Engelbert should resign.